From the depths of the ocean to the forests of Africa, our planet is home to some of the most intelligent creatures on Earth. In this video, we're breaking down the smartest animals in the world. We'll move across continents to uncover what makes each one a genius. We start with an animal most people encounter every day, but few realize just how intelligent it really is. The border collie, found worldwide but originating from the border regions between Scotland and England. An average border collie can learn over 500 words and understand basic grammar structure. That's more vocabulary than most toddlers. The smartest border collie on record, a dog named Chaser, learned 1,000 words and could differentiate between nouns and verbs. What makes border collies exceptional isn't just memory, it's their ability to problem solve in real time. They're bred to herd sheep across vast, unpredictable terrain, making split-second decisions without human input. A working border collie reads body language, anticipates movement, and adjusts strategy instantly. They can interpret subtle hand signals from over half a mile away. Border collies can learn a new command in under 5 repetitions and obey on the first command 95% of the time. Most dog breeds require 25 to 40 repetitions to learn something new. From the countryside of Scotland, we move to farms around the world, where one of the most underestimated geniuses lives in plain sight. The domestic pig, found on every continent except Antarctica. Most people think of pigs as dirty farm animals. They're wrong. Pigs are capable of outperforming 3-year-old human children in cognition tests. And here's what surprises most people. Pigs are smarter than dogs. They can solve problems faster, retain information longer, and demonstrate more complex emotional intelligence than the border collie we just covered. Pigs can learn to operate joystick-controlled video games using their snouts. They understand the concept of reflection. When shown a mirror, they use it to locate hidden food behind them. That requires spatial reasoning most animals don't possess. They can learn their names within weeks and respond to specific commands. They remember the locations of objects months after seeing them, only once. What makes pigs particularly intelligent is their social complexity. They manipulate other pigs through deception. If a pig finds food and knows another pig is watching, it'll wait until the observer leaves before approaching, showing they understand what others know and can plan accordingly. That's called theory of mind, and it's rare in the animal kingdom. From farmyards, we move to the ocean, specifically the tropical and temperate waters found across every major ocean on Earth. This is where you'll find the octopus. The octopus has a brain structure so different from mammals that scientists call it alien intelligence. They have 9 brains, 1 central brain, and 8 smaller brains, 1 in each arm. Each arm can taste, touch, and make decisions independently. If you cut off an octopus arm, it continues solving problems on its own for hours. They have 3 hearts. 2 pump blood to the gills, 1 pumps it to the rest of the body. Their blood is blue, copper-based, instead of iron-based like ours. And here's what separates them from almost everything else alive. Octopuses can edit their own RNA. They rewrite their genetic instructions on the fly to adapt to changing temperatures and environments. No other animal does this. But what makes octopuses truly remarkable is their problem-solving ability. They can navigate mazes, open child-proof containers, and unscrew jars from the inside. In laboratories, octopuses have repeatedly escaped their tanks, crossed floors, entered other tanks to eat fish, then returned to their own enclosure before morning. They've short-circuited lights by squirting water at them. They recognize individual human faces and treat people differently based on past interactions. What's most fascinating is that octopuses are entirely self-taught. They're solitary creatures with lifespans of only 1 to 2 years. From the ocean depths, we return to land, and to the skies above almost every continent on Earth. Crows and ravens are found everywhere except Antarctica, thriving in forests, cities, deserts, and mountains. These birds have a brain the size of a walnut, but packed into that tiny space is intelligence that rivals the great apes. Crows are master tool users. They don't just use tools, they craft them. In the wild, New Caledonian crows fashion hooks from twigs, stripping leaves and bending the wood to create the perfect shape for extracting insects from tree bark. They improve their tools over multiple attempts, refining the design until it works. They can solve multi-step puzzles that require planning several moves ahead. In lab experiments, crows have figured out that dropping stones into a water-filled tube raises the water level, bringing floating food within reach. They select the right-sized stones, ignore the ones that won't work, and understand water displacement, a concept human children don't grasp until age 7. But here's what makes crows truly exceptional. They hold grudges. Crows recognize individual human faces and remember them for years. If you threaten a crow, it'll remember you. Researchers who trapped and banded crows found themselves harassed for over a decade, not just by the original birds, but by crows that weren't even there during the initial encounter. Crows understand death. They hold funerals, gathering around dead crows to assess danger and learn what killed them. They pass this information to their offspring. From land and air, we move back to the ocean, this time to one of its apex predators. The orca, also called the killer whale, is found in every ocean on Earth, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, from coastal waters to the open sea. Orcas aren't whales. They're the largest member of the dolphin family, growing up to 32 feet long and weighing over 6 tons. But what makes them extraordinary isn't size, it's culture. Different orcapods around the world have different languages. Orcas communicate through complex vocalizations, and each family group has its own distinct dialect. Researchers can identify which pod an orca belongs to just by listening to it. Orcas from different regions can't understand each other. But it goes deeper. Different pods have entirely different hunting techniques, and they teach them to their young. In Patagonia, orcas intentionally beach themselves to grab seals from the shore, then wriggle back into the water. In Antarctica, they create waves to wash seals off ice floes. In New Zealand, they've learned to steal fish directly from fishing lines without getting hooked. These aren't random behaviors. They're cultural traditions passed down through generations. Orcas have been observed teaching their calves for years. Mothers demonstrate techniques repeatedly, letting young orcas practice on prey before stepping in to finish the job. They're patient, deliberate teachers. When a young orca fails, the mother retrieves the prey and lets it try again. What's remarkable is that these techniques don't spread between pods. Even when different orca groups occupy the same waters, they maintain their own distinct hunting cultures. That means orcas have cultural boundaries, something scientists once thought was unique to humans. From the ocean, we move to the savannas and forests of Africa and Asia. This is where you'll find elephants, the largest land animals on Earth and carriers of the best memory in the animal kingdom. African elephants can weigh up to 14,000 pounds and stand 13 feet tall at the shoulder. Asian elephants are slightly smaller but no less intelligent. What sets elephants apart isn't just their massive brains, which weigh over 11 pounds, 3 times heavier than a human brain. It's how they use them. Elephants never forget. That's not just a saying. They can remember the locations of water sources across hundreds of miles, even if they haven't visited them in decades. During droughts, elder matriarchs lead their herds to waterholes they last saw 30 or 40 years earlier. The herd's survival depends on that memory. But elephants don't just remember places. They remember individuals. They recognize over 100 other elephants by sight and sound, tracking friends and rivals across vast territories. When elephants reunite after years apart, they trumpet, flap their ears, and intertwine trunks in what can only be described as celebration. Elephants are one of the few animals that recognize themselves in mirrors. They've passed the mirror self-recognition test, something most animals, including dogs and cats, fail. When researchers painted a white mark on an elephant's forehead, it used the mirror to touch the mark with its trunk, proving it understood the reflection was itself. What makes elephants truly remarkable is emotional intelligence. They mourn their dead. When an elephant dies, the herd gathers around the body, touching it gently with their trunks. They return to the bones years later, running their trunks over the remains as if remembering. Elephants have been observed standing vigil over deceased family members for days, refusing to leave. They also show empathy for other species. Elephants have protected injured humans, covered them with branches, and stood guard until help arrived. From the land giants of Africa and Asia, we return to the ocean, specifically the tropical and temperate waters found worldwide. This is where you'll find the bottlenose dolphin, one of the most intelligent animals on the planet. Bottlenose dolphins can grow up to 12 feet long and weigh over 1,400 pounds. Their brains are larger than human brains, weighing up to 3.5 pounds, with a highly developed neocortex, the region responsible for complex thought, self-awareness, and social processing. Dolphins have names. Each dolphin develops a unique signature whistle within months of birth, essentially a name that identifies them individually. They use these names to call to each other across distances, and other dolphins respond specifically to those calls. Mothers teach their calves their signature whistles, and dolphins remember the names of other dolphins they haven't seen in over 20 years. But dolphins don't just communicate, they problem-solve at extraordinary levels. They've learned to use tools in the wild. In Shark Bay, Australia, dolphins tear off pieces of sea sponge and wear them over their snouts while foraging on the seafloor. The sponges protect their sensitive beaks from sharp rocks and stinging creatures. Mothers teach this technique to their daughters, creating a tool-use tradition passed down through generations. Dolphins pass the mirror self-recognition test with ease. When marked with non-toxic paint, they immediately swim to a mirror and inspect the mark, twisting and turning to see it from different angles. They understand the reflection is themselves. What makes dolphins particularly remarkable is their capacity for teaching and cultural transmission. Beyond tool use, different dolphin populations have developed unique hunting strategies. In South Carolina, dolphins herd fish onto mud banks, then beach themselves to eat their trapped prey. In Florida, dolphins work with human fishermen, driving fish into nets and waiting for their share of the catch, a cooperative relationship spanning generations. From the ocean, we move to the forests of Central and West Africa. Across 21 countries from Senegal to Tanzania, this is where you'll find the chimpanzee, our closest living relative and the animal most people assume is the smartest on Earth. Chimpanzees share 98.8% of their DNA with humans. That's closer than horses are to zebras. An adult chimpanzee weighs between 70 and 130 pounds but possesses strength 5 times greater than a human of equivalent size. Their brains, though smaller than ours at around 13 ounces, are structured remarkably similarly. Chimpanzees use tools with sophistication that rivals early humans. They fashion spears from branches to hunt bush babies hiding in tree hollows. They crack nuts using stone hammers and anvils, selecting the right-sized rocks for the job. They fish for termites using carefully prepared sticks, stripping leaves to create the perfect probe. What's remarkable is that different chimpanzee populations have different tool traditions, proving they have culture. Chimpanzees have politics. They form alliances, betray former allies, and wage coordinated attacks to overthrow alpha males. They plan ambushes, hold grudges, and reconcile after conflicts with embraces and grooming. They understand deception. They'll hide food from others or fake injuries to gain sympathy. In laboratory tests, young chimpanzees have outperformed university students in short-term memory tasks, particularly when it comes to remembering number sequences flashed on a screen for less than a second. Everything about chimpanzees screams intelligence. Their tool use, language capacity, social complexity, and emotional depth make them seem like the obvious choice for the smartest animal on Earth. The smartest animal on Earth isn't a mammal. It doesn't have a large brain. It doesn't use tools or recognize itself in mirrors. It's found on every continent except Antarctica, living in colonies that can contain millions of individuals working as one. The ant colony. Here's what you need to understand. A single ant has roughly 250,000 brain cells. That's nothing compared to the animals we've covered. But an ant colony, functioning as a superorganism, has over 250 million brain cells working in unison. Ants don't have leaders. There's no chain of command. The queen doesn't give orders, she just lays eggs. Yet somehow, millions of ants coordinate perfectly. They build ventilated megacities underground with temperature-controlled chambers, waste disposal systems, and fungus farms for food. They wage wars with tactical precision. They create living bridges with their own bodies to cross gaps. They rescue injured nestmates from battlefields and carry them to recovery chambers. Leafcutter ants practice agriculture. They harvest leaves, chew them into pulp, and cultivate fungus gardens that feed the entire colony. They've been farming for 50 million years, long before humans existed. Ants solve problems no individual ant understands. When faced with a maze, the colony finds the shortest path through chemical trail optimization, a method computer scientists now use in algorithms. They adapt to threats collectively, rerouting traffic, abandoning compromised tunnels, and rebuilding with efficiency that rivals human engineering. Which animal surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like these.